here's something a little brighter. I wanted to share this. This has been circulating around Facebook. It's one of those like copy and paste and share things. And it kind of summarizes. It's a pretty solid summary. This is what protesting has accomplished so far. Here's a summary. Within 10 days of sustained protests, Minneapolis bans use of chokeholds. Charges are upgraded against Officer Chauvin, and his accomplices are arrested and charged. So I think I've heard this from some other people, and I'm still learning all the ins and outs of it. Right now, it's a second-degree murder, and that's good because they would have a very, very hard time proving first degree. So if they went for it, there's a chance he could get acquitted. Like that's what I've been told by people who kind of understand those designations a little bit better than I do. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I would say historically, yes, that would be the case. I don't know if that'll happen in this case because, like, the whole world is watching,
Right.
this case, and I mean, they clearly don't want any more unrest, in that city, but I don't know, you know.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough judgment call because it's I mean I'm glad it's second and not third, but some people are saying, well, he knew the guy, so you can make the case for first that this totally could have been a completely premeditated thing, and it's like, yeah, but if that's harder to prove, I mean my personal at the end of the day, my personal take is I want this guy to go to jail for the rest of his freaking life. That's what should happen. He should spend the rest of his life in jail without a chance of ever getting out, ever. Whatever sentence he gets that makes that a reality, I don't really care. You know what I mean? Like I just want this guy in jail for the rest of his life, and I want the other people who are involved to be in jail for the rest of their lives too. That's what I want. Like full stop. And now, so let's see here. Dallas adopts a duty to intervene rule that requires officers to stop other cops who are engaging in inappropriate use of force. It's sad that even needs to be a thing, but at least it's a thing now. New Jersey's Attorney General said the state will update its use of force guidelines. First time in 20 years that's happened. In Maryland, a bipartisan work group of state lawmakers announced a police reform work group. Reform doesn't go far enough, but it's, they're starting. Los Angeles City Council introduced a motion to reduce LAPD's $1.8 billion operating budget. 100 to 150 million. It's a start. It's not enough. And by the way, Michael Moore needs to be fired and Eric Garcetti needs to resign. What do you guys think on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I'm happy that there's going to be more money going to minority communities, but it to me, like, they're trying to throw us a bone,
Yeah.
It's a small amount compared to the budget.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So let's see. MBTA in Boston agrees to stop using public buses to transport police officers to protests. I don't know if they'll just drive. But police brutality captured on camera leads to near immediate suspensions and firings in officers in several cities, Buffalo and Fort Lauderdale. Did you guys see that old guy that they pushed over, that older gentleman in Buffalo? Yeah, they cracked. And that guy, he's 75 years old and he's a peace officer. He's a peace activist in Buffalo. And he was out there, and supposedly too, based on some of the photos that have been released, he was actually going to hand a police officer a helmet they dropped.
Yeah.
Like a police officer dropped a helmet. He was just going to like give it back to them. Like he was protesting, but he was just like, here, you drop this. They shoved him over and cracked his skull. I mean, that's like,
see, and like that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That guy they saw, we can sacrifice this guy. He's an old man, So yeah, he can be fed into the wood chipper so that this system can continue.
I mean, in what civilized society is your first reaction when someone approaches you, and a 75-year-old guy at that, and he's approaching you to give you a piece of property that's yours back, and your initial reaction is to shove the guy over and crack his skull. Like that's just like there's something seriously wrong with you. You're not fit to hold a job, let alone a job where you get a badge and a gun. And let's be honest, a license to kill. You're not fit to hold a job. That's how you react to a person approaching you. It's just like, it's beyond sick.
Yeah, these are people who they prey on the weak, or they prey on the people who they see as weak or powerless. Yeah, it's by design that they do this. You know?
So this was kind of cool. Monuments celebrating Confederates are removed in cities in Virginia, Alabama, other states. Street in front of the White House is renamed Black Lives Matter Plaza. This is interesting. Now again, this is, I mean, I just saw this from someone I'm friends with on Facebook, but this is going all around Facebook. Military forces begin to withdraw from DC. Now, and yeah, let's take a step back and think about that for a second. We're so, and I'm not saying this to demean the Facebook post itself. I'm saying that like let's just kind of take a step back and look at the world of affairs. We're celebrating the fact that we have withdrawn national forces that were there in the first place against our own people. I mean, that's what happened. Like National Guard, national forces against American citizens. Where are all like the libertarians at? Like, where are they? Where are they?
Yeah. They've been telling all of us that the society can regulate. Like, where are they?
Where are they? It's like, and it's some of the same people where it's like, we have the right to get a haircut. Some of those same people are now like, guys, we have a curfew. The cops are mad. Be good. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is authoritarian fascism. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Did you ever thought I mean, first of all, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like we should all add, got through the pandemic and martial law on our LinkedIn profiles, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, hey,
now, right?
right? Yeah, that can go in our intros when we're being brought to the stage. Got through the pandemic and martial law. Like what a double whammy. Double whammy. But it's like, you take a step back and you're just, this is nuts. And that's why people all over the world are protesting.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're protesting. It's like it is insane what law enforcement does in the US. This is not law enforcement. This is just a legalized authoritarian racist gang. That's what this is. And people have had it, and people have reached their breaking point. And you're putting a pandemic on top of this. And I guess for me personally, the one thing that gives me a little bit of hope is the fact that this is like numerically the biggest protest in like pretty much the history of the United States, right?
Yeah. It is.
It's like, and during a pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, I know a couple people in my life, and I know there's a lot of people that are in the boat of, we would love to be out there, but we can't because we're either immunocompromised or, I have a friend of mine. He's like, look, I have an 89-year-old relative who lives with me. I can't be out there in something like that right now. So, I participate, and there are other ways to participate. There are a lot of things you can do, right?
Yeah.
Well, and just things right from your computer. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, we had a very controversial facial recognition bill in California. It was AB 2261, and we stopped it. I mean, people made phone calls. I mean, I made a phone call to my assemblyman, and I know it's really hard to look at small victories right now because there's so much going on in the world, but had that thing gone forward, it would have really further authorized more mass surveillance by the police. And, and this is something we all know. the people that are most brutalized by those types of policies are not people who look like me. They're people who look like y'all. I mean, like there's statistics showing that, because most of the mismatches happen amidst Black people and people of color, and those are the people who suffer most under this facial recognition technology. They're the ones most brutalized on it, and the entire populace does not benefit from it. It's terrible for everyone, but it's especially terrible. Yeah,
for some communities over others.
Oh, big time. And they've sent, I mean, they sent people to countries they've never been to so far based on this. They get this mismatch. Oh, you're not supposed to be here. You're an illegal immigrant. And then they ship them back. They sent some guy to Iraq. He's never been there before. He's an American citizen. He got some ridiculous mismatch. They sent him away. I mean, this stuff's happening, and it's just so, you know, I mean, we did stop, you know, another bill like that from coming into California, which was at least something. But man, what a time. What a time.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and